Welcome, Snack Attackers. My name is Jason, and I have another potentially fantastic product to review for you guys today. But first, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, all the fun YouTube stuff. The last product we reviewed in this line was really good. And they released 2 new ones, and this is one of them. And I'm cautiously super optimistic. This is from Morningstar, the vegan company, vegetarian company, sometimes vegan. And this is in their Veggietizerz line, which is Veggietizerz. The last one we had in this line was the pepperoni bites, and boy, were they amazing. This one is Veggie Chorizo Nacho Bites. That's right. A new vegetarian, no, I believe these are vegan. Yeah, these ones are vegan. The reason I say that they're not a vegan company is I think occasionally they have something that's not vegan, but it wouldn't even be cheese. It would probably be like, are they a vegan company entirely? Because it seems like then they would say vegan always. Anyhow, these are vegan, and they are vegan chorizo nacho bites, so they're supposed to taste like chorizo nachos. The method of cooking this was super easy. You preheat your oven to 425, you put them in for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you flip them over, you heat them for another 7. Though I did 6. And they come out looking like this. They smell a bit like cheap tacos, you know, or cheap taquitos, which is kind of what they're emulating. And I think I'm going to say something kind of controversial, and it's that these frequently work, the pepperoni pizza bites, the other one that I have that I will be reviewing, which is taquito bites, and the fake popcorn chicken, because so much of these processed, frozen, appetizery things has non-meat products in it. It has a ton of the cheap ones have what's called TVP, which if you don't know what that is, it's textured veggie protein. And it's in a lot of the chicken nuggety things, and it's a way to kind of get away with stretching the amount of meat because it has a similar texture and can be flavored. So most of these work because the base of what they're replicating was already kind of mostly vegetarian. Of course, yes, there is meat and there is cheese, but it's so processed that these normally work just because the cheap ones are kind of that cheap. If you were trying to replicate something more fancy, I guess, or something that was a little true to, like if you made it at home and you knew exactly what you're putting in, no, these aren't going to compare. These were purchased at a Jewel-Osco, but for how much I have no clue because, again, the marker washed off. This is something that we know happens a ton when I get these kind of frozen foods. And expect it for the next one, too. I already checked to see if the price is there. It's not. I will have the editor lovingly place the price up at the back then, and then I'm mentioning it now and also giving thanks to the editor. And let's get to it. They are very crispy. You can't tell, but they're pretty firm, which is nice. That's kind of what you want, I think, in these. But let's give it a try. 3, 2, 1, snack attack. While not as good as the pizza bite, it has a similar thing where there's like a fake cheese and there's fake chorizo, and then there's just the flavoring of chorizo. It's very spicy. And so, at least for me, who really likes spice, it works, and the brain is like, everything is here. This tastes like a cheap chorizo taquito. Yeah. Monkey brain can't figure out that there's anything wrong here. And you could trick a lot of meat eaters with this, I assume. I don't think you should ever try to trick meat eaters, by the way. A lot of people who are vegetarian or vegan will talk about tricking significant others or friends into trying these things and then being like, "Ha-ha, I pulled the rug out from under you. They were vegetarian all along. You're a secret vegetarian. You always wanted to be." But what they don't factor in is a couple things. 2, people don't, or 1, I'll skip 1. 1, people don't like to be lied to. 2, deceit is wrong in this sort of way. And 3, you're not factoring all the other factors. inside here is enough that if you were hosting some kind of party or something, and that's what, the appetizers are for. You don't have appetizers in your daily life, You don't make appetizers for yourself before your meal. Appetizers are kind of like a gathering around sort of thing. So there's probably enough in here that you could host it could be one of the plates at your kind of gathering, your football gathering party, or whatever people do to gather, your game night, what have you. But it might not be priced the same way. And like I said, I think it's kind of morally wrong when people are like, I'm trying to trick my significant other into not eating so much meat. Present the facts and be like, would you be willing to try this? And if they say yes, and then they find it to be just as good, I feel like you're close to converting someone rather than tricking them. That being said, I still eat meat, so I'm not talking from any sort of experience. Oh, interesting. Well, not as hot, and letting it kind of coagulate a bit, it doesn't have as good of a texture. You want to eat these fresh. And this one, waiting even longer, has a distinct TVP texture, which I've kind of gotten to know at this point. It's spongy, though they're probably going to use something like a soya protein and not TVP per se. I'm just going to check real quick. Yeah, we got that tapioca starch, obviously. Pea protein, which there is used a lot in these sorts of things, and the xanthan gum, which gives that kind of that gluiness. They don't use TVP though, so that's good. But I've had so many of these that I can tell when that not meat texture is there. It's still not bad, and it's going to definitely get a snack tech yas. That being said, it's not as good as the pizza one, the pepperoni bites. The pepperoni pizza bites. Sorry, I'm looking at it. And I don't remember what I gave that. So, I'm going to ask the editor to do me a huge solid. Go back and watch that one, and then give this one less than that. Because I don't remember what I gave it, it's just I can't do it. But that's what I want to give these. The spice goes a long way, and this is why you'll see a lot of the meat alternatives having very bold flavors. You can cover up a world of hurt with bold flavors. Like, I'll put sriracha on a lot of things that I don't enjoy because that flavor will cover a world of hurt. And that's kind of what they are doing here. You tend to get these very bold flavors when you're trying to mask something else. What would this taste like without that chorizo flavoring? Probably not very good, but that's there, so it works. That being said, the question we asked around here is not, do you think that these will actually surpass any sort of meat alternatives? I think that, personally, probably price-wise, it's still not as competitive as something equally cheap and equally flavorful. Or probably more cheap and equally flavorful. So I still don't think we're there. And this is what I've been saying from the market of things and the market of meat alternatives. Until they're the same or less, and I think I said this in the Guardian soup, where it was massively more costly than the just Campbell's alternative. This is never going to gain a foothold against people who eat meat until it is competitively priced. Right now, this is a treat for people who are vegan. This is, I get to also consume something that I either consumed in the past or have been curious about flavors and such. It definitely fits a market, and I do have vegetarian friends who, have get-togethers, and this is something that they might have at their get-together. But that wasn't all the question. It was, would you buy it again? And no, because the pepperoni ones are still on shelves next to it, I would get the pepperoni ones instead. But stick around because I'll be reviewing the taquito ones soon. Also, a new, I think, chorizo breakfast sandwich that is vegan. So I guess keep your eyes out for all the vegan content I'm dropping all of the sudden. And I'll see you in the next one.